Russian invasion of Ukraine continued for the sixth straight day. Navin Shekarappa, an Indian student, loses his life in shelling in Ukraine's Kharkiv. The 20-year-old from Karnataka was studying at the Kharkiv National Medical University in Kharkiv. Moscow is preparing to launch a new military push imminently as the Russian invasion of Ukraine enters day 6. A huge Russian military convoy stretching some 40 miles spotted by a US satellite imaging company just north of the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv. Amid the escalating Ukraine crisis, India once again expresses its concern over the deteriorating situation in Ukraine and reiterated its call for immediate cessation of violence and to end hostilities. Minister for Health and Family Welfare S. Pang-Pom inaugurates 50-bedded COVID-19 hospital at District Hospital in Dimapur. Pang-Pom says that the hospital will be one of the most required and needed facilities to cater to people's needs. Venuzo Dauhuo retains the title in the 28th Naga Wrestling Championship 2022. Defeats opponent Masilusi Naga in the finals held at Kucheze local ground, Kohima. In a step to repair pathetic roads condition, Kemningwan Students' Union, in collaboration with Pangsha Public Organization on Tuesday, carries out a drive in Noklak. KSU carrying repairing work for 3 consecutive days in demand for the good roads. Greetings viewers, you're watching Primetime News. This is Nltv. Now let's have a look at the details. As the Russian invasion of Ukraine continued for the 6th straight day, India witnessed the first loss of human life among its nationals stranded in Ukraine war zone. Navin Shekarappa, an Indian student, lost his life in shelling in Ukraine on Tuesday morning. As per reports, Navin died when the governor's building was blown up in a missile attack at Kharkiv, which is Ukraine's second largest city. Reportedly, Shekarappa, a 4th-year medical student from Karnataka's Haveri, died when he was standing in the queue before a grocery shop at the time of explosion. The 20-year-old from Karnataka was studying at the Kharkiv National Medical University in Kharkiv. Furthermore, in a tweet, spokesperson of the Ministry of External Affairs, Arindam Bagchi, confirmed that an Indian student lost his life in shelling in Kharkiv this morning. The ministry is in touch with his family. It may be mentioned that Kharkiv, which is located barely 40 kilometers from the Russian border, has been witnessing intense hostilities over the past few days. It houses one of the largest clusters of Indian students owing to the number of medical colleges in the area. As the Ukraine invasion of Ukraine entered day 6, the war scenario is experiencing many major events. In a development, it seems Moscow is preparing to launch a new military push imminently. A huge Russian military convoy stretching some 40 miles was spotted by a US satellite imaging company just north of the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv, which has already repulsed several assaults. Satellite photos provided by Maxar, a US company, showed that the convoy, which had been missing since Sunday, had mushroomed to more than 40 miles of military vehicles. According to the photos, apparently the convoy covered the entire area of road from near Antonov Airport, some 18 miles from the capital, to the town of Birbitsk, a distance of approximately 40 miles. A number of homes and buildings are seen burning north and northwest of Ivan-Kyiv, near the roads where the convoy is traveling. Satellites has also captured images of additional ground forces deployments and ground attacks helicopters units in southern Belarus, less than 20 miles north of the border with Ukraine. Kyiv's outgunned but determined troops slowed Russia's advance and held onto the capital and other cities, at least for the time being. As talks between Ukrainian and Russia delegations wrapped up near the Belarusian border, several blasts could be heard in Kyiv itself. Russia troops have been advancing slowly on the capital city of nearly 3 million people. Amid the escalating Ukraine crisis, India once again expressed its concern over the deteriorating situation in Ukraine and reiterated its call for immediate cessation of violence and end to hostilities. India said that it was deeply concerned, saying all differences can only be bridged through honest, sincere and sustained dialogue. These comments came during a rare emergency special session of the UN General Assembly on Ukraine. India's permanent representative to the UN ambassador, T.S. Tirumurti, also thanked all neighboring countries of Ukraine who have opened their borders for Indian citizens and given all facilities to Indian missions and their personnel to evacuate Indian nationals to their homeland. He further stated that New Delhi is doing whatever it can to undertake immediate and urgent evacuation efforts to Indian nationals still stranded in Ukraine. Noting that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has advocated this strongly in his recent conversations with the leadership of the Russian Federation and Ukraine, Tirumurti said there is an urgent and pressing humanitarian situation developing in Ukraine.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to thank Under Secretary General Martin Griffiths and UN High Commissioner Filippo Grandi for their briefing. India remains deeply concerned at the unfolding developments in Ukraine, where the situation continues to deteriorate. Our considered call for immediate cessation of violence and an end to all hostilities is an urgent imperative. India's Prime Minister has advocated this strongly in his recent conversations with the leadership of the Russian Federation and Ukraine. We welcome the commencement of direct talks. We reiterate our conviction that differences can only be bridged through sustained dialogue and diplomacy. We also underline that all members have agreed on the principles, the UN Charter, international law, and on the respect for the sovereignty and territorial integrity of states.
Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky on Tuesday urged the European Union to increase its support to his country, telling the European Parliament to prove if they are with Ukraine while addressing an extraordinary session of the European Parliament via a video link on Tuesday. The address by Zelensky comes as evidence from the ground shows that Moscow's forces are bombing civilian areas in major cities as they seek to push deeper into Ukraine. Zelensky, while addressing the European Parliament, said that without the European Union, Ukraine is going to be alone. He said that the Ukrainians have proved their strength and that they have proven that even at a minimum, Ukrainians are exactly the same as they are. He further quoted that, "Prove you are with us. Do prove that you will not let us go." Following his address, EU lawmakers, many wearing "Stand with Ukraine" t-shirt bearing the Ukrainians' flag, others with blue and yellow scarves or ribbons, gave Zelensky a standing ovation. Special flights are being operated by Air India as part of the Operation Ganga mission. The 7th flight carrying 182 Indian nationals stranded in Ukraine reached Mumbai from Romania's Bucharest on Tuesday morning, while the 8th Operation Ganga flight, which left from Budapest for New Delhi with 216 Indian nationals, and the 9th flight carrying 218 Indian nationals, which departed from Bucharest for New Delhi, has reached the New Delhi airport on Tuesday. The information was shared by External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar on Twitter. So far, India has evacuated over 8,000 nationals since the initial advisories were issued by the countries, according to Ministry of External Affairs.
कुछ कह नहीं सकते हम कहाँ पर अटैक कर देगी, तो इसलिए हम मानते हैं कि इंडियन एम्बेसी ने हमें बहुत ज़्यादा हेल्प किया। इंडियन एम्बेसी ने जितनी जल्द हो सके उतना हमारे बारे में सोचा और हमें सभी को वहाँ से निकाला। कुछ बच्चे रह रहे हैं जिनको वो निकाल रही है इंडियन एम्बेसी, अभी तैयारी में लगी हुई है। मैं बहुत इंडियन गवर्नमेंट का शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूँ।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has called for the Indian Air Force to join Operation Ganga to scale up the evacuation efforts to bring back its citizens stuck in Ukraine. The conclusion of the IAF will ensure that more people can be evacuated from war-hit Ukraine in the shortest possible time period. Leveraging the capabilities of the Air Force will also help deliver humanitarian aid more efficiently. For the evacuation program, the Air Force is likely to deploy several C-17 aircrafts from Tuesday. Notably, Operation Ganga is an initiative launched by the government of India to bring back stranded students and citizens from the conflict-torn Ukraine. Private airlines Indigo and SpiceJet on Monday joined the Indian government's mission Operation Ganga to evacuate Indian nationals stranded in war-torn Ukraine and operate flights to Romania and Hungary. Indigo said that it will operate 2 evacuation flights using A321 aircraft from Delhi to Bucharest in Romania and Budapest in Hungary via Istanbul. SpiceJet also announced a special evacuation flight to Budapest, which left Delhi around 5 p.m. on Monday, and the Boeing 737 MAX will return to Delhi on March 2 morning via Kutaisi, Georgia. Air India's sister airline, Air India Express, also joined the mission and announced that it will operate the special evacuation flight via Kuwait on the return journey. Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson on Monday said that India has evacuated 1,400 Indian citizens by February 28 through 6 flights from Ukraine and estimate that 16,000 to 20,000 students studying in various Ukrainian state medical universities are stranded. Indian advisory to the citizens in Ukraine asked them to move towards the western borders of Ukraine. The West is preparing further restrictive measures against Moscow, including Russian President Vladimir Putin. U.S. Senator Chris Murphy, a member of the Foreign Relations Committee, said after a classified briefing from U.S. President Joe Biden's top national security officials on the Ukraine situation. The US and allies are coordinating to not only freeze the assets of Putin, but to seize those assets and his oligarchy allies as well. He claimed that Russians have fallen behind their timeline in what concerns the special military operations in Ukraine and were preparing to cut off Kyiv in the next several weeks. The White has asked Congress to allocate $6.4 billion to assist Kyiv in its ongoing conflict with Russia. The funds could be attached to a border government spending package to pass next week. World Taekwondo has strongly condemned the brutal attacks on innocent lives in Ukraine, which go against the body's vision of peace is more precious than triumph and the World Taekwondo values of respect and tolerance. In this regard, World Taekwondo has decided to withdraw the honorary 9th Dan black belt conferred to Vladimir Putin in November 2013. In solidarity with the International Olympic Committee, no Russian or Belarusian national flags or anthems will be displayed or played at World Taekwondo events. World Taekwondo and the European Taekwondo Union will not organize or recognize Taekwondo events in Russia and Belarus. World Rugby on Tuesday reiterated its condemnation of Russia's military operation in Ukraine and the facilitation of this action by Belarus. The World Rugby Executive Committee has decided to take immediate additional steps to protect the rugby family and take a strong stance against the conflict in line with recommendations by the International Olympic Committee and the full and immediate suspension of Russia and Belarus from all international rugby and cross-border club rugby activities until further notice. The decision has been taken with the interest of rugby's values of solidarity, integrity and respect at heart. World Rugby also remains in contact with colleagues at the Ukraine Rugby Federation and has pledged its full support to the rugby community in the country. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that on Monday he will release prisoners with combat experience to defend the country and allow to serve their debt to society on the front lines of the conflict with Russia. On the other hand, Ukraine is also training people to make fire bombs. With Russian troops closing in around Kyiv, the mayor of the capital has expressed doubt that civilians could be evacuated. Hence, authorities have been handing out weapons to anyone willing to defend the city. Zelensky also held the sanctions that the West slapped on Russia, saying they have brought the Russia currency down. Union Minister of Law and Justice Kiren Rijiju has left for Slovakia on Tuesday as a special envoy to oversee the evacuation efforts of stranded Indian students in Ukraine. Speaking before his departure, Rijiju stated that an envoy of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi will give his message to the Prime Minister of Slovakia because without the help of Slovakia government, they cannot conduct this operation. He further stated that they will do the overall coordination for the evacuation process. He also stated that their main aim is to provide safe passage to the Indian citizens.
अभी हम निकल रहे हैं और स्लोवाकिया में जो ऑपरेशन होगा इवैक्यूएशन का जो चल रहे हैं उसको ओवरऑल कोऑर्डिनेशन भी करेंगे और प्रधानमंत्री जी का एनवॉय होने के नाते उनका संदेश और उनका पत्र को भी वहाँ के प्रधानमंत्री जी को भी सौंपेंगे क्योंकि वहाँ के सरकार के मदद के बिना ये सारा ऑपरेशन करना मुश्किल है क्योंकि हमारे जो नागरिक हैं बच्चे हैं वो यूक्रेन से आएंगे तो उनके पास तो वीज़ा कागज़ का बड़ा इशू रहेगा तो ये सब चीज़ों का भी कोऑर्डिनेशन करने के लिए वहाँ के सरकार का समर्थन चाहिए तो हमारे वहाँ ज़मीन पर एम्बेसडर और उनके सारे टीम काम कर रहे हैं.
The Kamyuan Students Union, in collaboration with Pangsha Public Organization on Tuesday, took a step to repair the pathetic roads condition at Noklak district in demand for the good roads as it is a priority for the welfare of the public. Notably, they have been working since past 2 days and today it entered the third day. It may be mentioned that the work has been funded by contributions from members and donation from well-wishers.
Moigan Student Union. Pacha Daimbra Mogan, we have a dream that we want to have a good road, good connectivity, because road itu phal dhagado sob phal hoido. Hoile bi moigan compel grado inagam guru karne. Though we don't have any funds, since the department or the concern government is not doing their job, and we have to tell them again and again that the road is not good, which is according to the fund or the maintenance, we find that they are doing nothing. So we, the Students Union, along with the Pangsha Public Organization and support from the Roko Angami, the contractor, he has shared us one JCB and a dumper, and the DC department he has given us a JCB. So it's been 2 days we are working on it. We want to show them that what we can do through by the collaboration by the general public, though we don't have any funds out of our.
The Northeast Confluence 22 Art Camp begins on Tuesday at Northeast Zone Cultural Center of Dimapur, Nagaland. Notably, the camp is being organized by Northeast Zone Cultural Center Dimapur and Ministry of Culture, Government of India in collaboration with New Naga Foundation for Arts. It may be mentioned that during the art camp, a total of 31 artists from around the northeast of India will be participating in the event. According to reports, the camp will conclude on 5th of March. The Nagaland State Legal Services Authority, under the aegis of the National Legal Services Authority, will be conducting the first quarterly National Lok Adalat People's Courts sitting in all the district headquarters on March 12, which will be the first quarterly National Lok Adalat to be held in the year 2022 to 23. A total of 11 Lok Adalat benches at district court premises will be set up by the District Legal Services Authority. Notably, Lok Adalat is one of the alternative dispute redressal mechanisms and a forum where cases pending in the court of law or at the pre-litigation stage are settled or compromised speedily and amicably. Persons having dispute or cases pre-litigation and pending on civil, matrimonial, MACT and petty offence cases can go forward on the day or submit their disputes before the date at DLSA front offices, District Court Building, NSLSA, Member Secretary Office, DC Office Compound, or contact 0370-229-0153 or email at nslsa.nagaland@gov.in. Furthermore, the disposal data of each DLSAS will be further uploaded on the web portal of the state authority. The 28th Naga Wrestling Championship 2020's finale was held on Monday at Kochise Local Ground, Kohima, whereby champion Venuzo Dahoho retained the championship title after defeating his opponent Masilusi Naga in the finals. Venuzo, who represented the Chakasang Wrestling Association, won a cash prize of Rs 3,20,000 and also won the Led Velahu Puro Memorial Award of Rs 30,000 along with the championship belt and a trophy. On the other hand, Nagi, who represented the Angami Wrestling Association, received Rs 2,20,000 as the runner-up. Furthermore, in the second U16 Wrestling Championship, Putal Hesu emerged as the winner and won Rs 60,000, while Kivisuto Kezo, the runner-up, was awarded Rs 40,000 along with certificates respectively. Notably, a total of 54 wrestlers in the senior category participated for the championship title, representing 3 units: Angami Wrestling Association, Chakasang Wrestling Association, and Ziliang Wrestling Association under NWA, while in the second U16 category, 24 wrestlers participated, 18 wrestlers from each unit in the senior category and 8 wrestlers each in the U16 category.
To be a wrestler, you don't need big infrastructure. And you know that to be a sports person, you need dedication, discipline, and build up your strength and stamina, and you have to know the technique of the sports. And therefore, I hope this challenge you will take upon yourself and promote wrestling in our state, because this is the biggest game among the Nagas. For this, government have already decided in consultation with the Naga Wrestling Association. We had several rounds of meetings, and we say government will partner with the Naga Wrestling Association to build an international standard indoor stadium, for which
Nltv on Tuesday took a ground report on the initiative taken by Aosun Sutulungchum, Dimapur, for the beautification and safeguard of old Naga cemetery at Lakeview Colony, Dimapur, which almost took 1 month for renovation. The cemetery area measures 8 bighas and was closed by the Naga Council on December 2020, since there were no space of land or area for burial, and for the same they constructed a new cemetery in Zani village area, Dimapur, Manipur, which measured 16 bighas and is 3 kilometers away from Zion Hospital. NCD President E. Kikon said that he is extremely happy that ASTD officials took up such initiative for the people. On the other hand, Merdan Nukpu wished that this old cemetery will serve as a tourist spot in the near future.
75th Platinum Jubilee. Naga Council laga 2024 day here se. Ito wara aw be since we are part and parcel of the Naga Council. Amakan be Naga Council ke mudot kora laga hisapti. Ito hulibi kuri dibunigi koi kini kora laga se. We are very thankful to all walks of people that they are very much cooperating and coming forward. Ito wara we are looking forward that before the onset of Naga Council Platinum Jubilee, the project can be completed. Thank you.
To abuni laga speech this sir abuni kuishe ke in the near coming days ausan sa tulongjam Dimapur para idu all Naga cemetery to tourist spot nishina ekta kuribula vision de kuri ase to challenges to ki thakibo aro abuni la message Naga manukhan ki ase itu la upor.
Yes. Itu cemetery laga hobra iman explanation dibulibi tana se. Kinto amakan kuribuli mondagado since the Naga Council has already opened the new cemetery.
Amigane do MOU lekibo. Do MOU do that a lot detail lekigana because for this maintenance is not for only a few years. It will go in the long run. So we will have a MOU with our legal consultants. Now here besides this maintenance.
The assessment for cleaners ULB/ward to commence from March 1 to 31 in Futsiro following the intensive cleanliness drive which was held at Futsiro town on 26th February 2022. Some of the following criteria which will be looked up upon as notified by Department of Urban Development Government of Nagaland, ADC and Administrator Futsiro Subdivision are all wards to be garbage free and plastic free. All drains or streets in respective ward to be cleared, house compounds and surroundings to be cleaned, traders to clean their respective vicinity, innovative practices in waste management to be checked, government department directed to conduct cleanliness drives in office premises. Furthermore, the notification also directed all the government departments to conduct cleanliness drives in their respective office premises. District Development Coordination and Monitoring Committee on Monday held a meeting at Woka to review the status and implementation of various central sponsored schemes in the district. The meeting was chaired by the Member of Parliament and Disha Chairman Tokeho Jimomi meeting, while MLA and Advisor of Parliament of Horticulture and Border Affairs Matung Yantan also attended the meeting. Patso Village Guard on Tuesday celebrated its 50th anniversary at Patso, Kingdio, whereby the inauguration of monolith was done by special guest NPS Commandant, Village Guard of Twensang Headquarters. Furthermore, the release of the souvenir was done by the special guest, followed by the speech. Meanwhile, the invocation was done by Pastor of Baptist Church Patso, T. Muko, while the welcome address was given and by Convener Xing Neo. The celebration was further followed by a Jubilee Fest cultural dance by men and women of the Cultural Club of Patso Village. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday slammed Congress for looting Manipur and not working for the development. Addressing a virtual rally in Manipur, Prime Minister Modi said that Congress did not work for the development of Manipur and encouraged separatism. The people of Manipur have to be aware of this. BJP works for the development of the Northeast, especially Manipur. This is destroying their plans of divide and rule. Prime Minister Modi also announced that an AIMS center would be set up in Manipur, while the BJP government will take up works for the development of sports infrastructure such as building, sports university and startups. Lambasting Congress, further, Prime Minister Modi said that Manipur had waited for this for its first train since independence. But the BJP did the work of launching the train services in the state and connected Manipur to India's railway network. New railway lines are also being built, furthering the layout and connectivity. With the conclusion of the first phase of Manipur Assembly elections on Monday, the state recorded an average voter turnout of 78.30%. The second phase of this 60-member Assembly elections will take place on March 5. The counting of votes will take place on March 10. Manipur Congress candidate Dr. Lamtingtang Haokip, who is contesting from the Saitu constituency in Kangpukpi district, was arrested along with one of the party workers on Monday for alleged pool violence. Notably, they were booked under the IPC and the Representation of People's Act for various offences, including command intention of assault to public servant from discharging duty. It may be mentioned that he will be produced before the district court on Tuesday morning. Meanwhile, the Congress and the All Tribal Students Union Manipur have alleged that Haokip has been wrongly framed at the behest of the BJP. It is to be mentioned that Manipur voted in the first of the two-phase state elections on Monday, and the votes will be counted on March 10. In a big relief to passengers, the Indian Railways on Monday resumed the sale of general tickets and allowed passengers to board unreserved coaches. Earlier, the railways had turned unreserved coaches into reserved ones to prevent the spread of COVID-19. The latest decision has been taken in the wake of a possible rush ahead of Holi. In regular trains, general coaches shall be earmarked as reserved or unreserved, as these were prevailing during the pre-pandemic period. In holiday specials or other special trains, general coaches shall be reserved or unreserved as prevailing during the pre-pandemic period. President Ram Nath Kovind on Tuesday inaugurated the newly developed Arokya Vanam at the President's estate in the presence of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The Arokya Vanam is spread over in 6.6 acres and has been developed in the shape of a human sitting in the Yoga Mudra. It consists of around 215 herbs and plants used for therapeutic purposes in Ayurveda, while some of the other features of Arokya Vanam are water fountains, a yoga platform, a water channel, a lotus pond and a viewpoint. Notably, the concept of Arokya Vanam has been conceived with the aim of publicizing the importance of Ayurveda plants and their benefits for the people. It may be mentioned that Arokya Vanam is now open for public viewing. Moderna faces yet another patent challenge over its coronavirus vaccine after Arbutus Biopharma and Genevant Sciences, both small biotechnology companies, filed a lawsuit on Monday, alleging that Moderna hijacked its technology to develop the multi-billion-dollar vaccine. War Minister Best Arbutus and its part-owned Genevant unit mentioned in their lawsuit that Moderna infringed on their patent for so-called lipid nanoparticle technology, which they say was key in the development of Moderna's mRNA vaccine, and took scientists from Arbutus and Genevant years of painstaking work to develop and to refine.